fans?
What up, Laker fam?
Laker fans!
Let's go, Lakers!
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
We ballin'. But it's purple, hard as well, baby. We ballin'. Ain't nobody in the world, niggas. LA, I got us. Who with me? Let's roll.
Oh yeah, you already know.
You know what they yell when they see me?
Hurling go, hurling go.
Some dying's on my way to the
Slam dunk.
gonna hate her like who?
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Champions of the spot. Watch how they watch us. Meet me at the top.
LA, baby.
Nah, we ain't gon' stop. LA be like, Laker fans like, LA be like. We ballin'. Ain't nobody in the world that is we ballin'.
It's all purple and gold, baby. It's all purple and gold.
It's showtime, baby.
Let's go.
What up, Lakers Nation? Lakers Nation, salute to you. Welcome back to Lakers Over Everything for your Monday, August 27th edition of the Lowdown Daily Pod, baby. This is your Lakers Over Everything daily podcast. Welcome back. And what a beautiful Monday it is to be here. What a beautiful Monday it is to be a member of Lakers Nation. It is Victory Monday. After the Lakers get a huge victory over the Sacramento Kings, 127-120, improving their record to 2-1. And yes, that's their second straight victory. Of course, they picked up their first victory on Friday with an astonishing 49 points from Luka the Don. Well, that energy carried over until last night because Austin Reaves, that man, him, dropped a career high 51 points. Yes. So again, welcome back to Lakers Over Everything. I'm your host, LOE, purple and gold till we die, purple and gold we ride. I bleed purple. My heart beats gold. It is and always will be Lakers Over Everything. Yes, you heard me correctly. 51 points. So Luka comes out, scores 41 on opening night or 43, whatever he had, then comes out, drops 49 in the encore. And then Austin said, okay, that was cute, but let me show you how to get a 50 burger, right? Let me show you how to get this 50 piece. Something Luka couldn't do on Friday since he missed those free throws or missed that free throw where he could have got 50. Well, Austin came out, got the job done. 51 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 12 of 22 from the field, 6 of 10 from three, 21 of 22 from the free throw line, another career high with both of those, 2 steals, only 2 turnovers, all in 39 minutes. So it didn't take an overtime. It didn't take 2 overtimes like that cat up in OKC. It's taking him 2 overtimes to get stats like this. I have no shade to SGA, the reigning MVP, but yes, 51 points in 39 minutes. And again, that is wonderful. That is amazing. That is spectacular. That is historic, right? But the 11 rebounds and 9 assists to go with it, that's what I'm most impressed about. And only 2 turnovers. Now, that was the thing with Austin in that Golden State game. You look at his box score, he had himself a great game, 25 points and, X amount of rebounds, X amount of assists, but he had a lot of turnovers. He cleaned that up tremendously. Only 2 turnovers. So you absolutely love to see that, especially when he is the leading playmaker for our Los Angeles Lakers with, who without Luka Doncic. So you love to see that, man. And then he was a minus 15. So when he was off the floor, the Lakers got outscored by 15 points. Now, let me backtrack a little bit. So we know it was the first game without Luka. Luka will be out for at least a week. That news hit the wire yesterday, so it has us all scrambling. Man, what are the Lakers going to do? How can they hold up? How can they sustain? No LeBron James, no Luka Doncic. Man, that's going to be tough sledding. And I was wondering if they could go 500. But in my mind, I'm thinking they probably couldn't even do that. They would probably be more like 1-3 or 2-4 or whatever the case may be. But no, they come out and get a big victory against a playoff Sacramento team, right? Or a fringe playoff Sacramento team, fringe play-in Sacramento team, a good team that got Sabonis back. So they were at full strength. They had Sabonis back. They had Zach LaVine. They had DeMar DeRozan. They had pretty much all their players, right? And they went up there and they got the victory, man. So shout out to the Lakers for doing so. And of course, we all knew that AR would have to step up his game, in the absence of Luka, in the absence of LeBron, something that we're familiar with him doing. We've seen it time in and time out, but not to this extent. 51 points. That is insane, man. That is insane. And he joined some elite Lakers company. Since 2000, there's only been 5 players to drop 50 points. Only 5 of them. And surprisingly, Luka Doncic is not on that list in his young Lakers career, right? He almost hit it on Friday, but AR is. So here are those 5 players. I mean, this is elite company, Hall of Fame company, GOAT company, if you will. We're talking about Shaq. He's done it. Kobe Bryant, he's done it. LeBron James has done it. And Anthony Davis has done it. The latter two, of course, are both teammates of Austin. So he's been there to witness. Well, now he joins him. So again, Austin Reaves joins Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis as the only 5 Lakers to drop a 50-piece since the year 2000. So absolutely insane, man. Absolutely insane. You got to give the man his credit there, right? And then you talk about Austin, what Austin has done in the absence of some of these guys, man. Again, we just said it. This isn't something new. He's always asked to step his game up when we're missing these guys, and he's done so. He's done so each and every time. I'm trying to find that stat for you 1 second. So the last 3 times that LeBron and Luka didn't, so it carries back into last year, right? With LeBron and Luka, obviously, because this is only the first time. But then you could even dig deeper into that, without LeBron and without AD. But let's just go without LeBron and Luka, right? The last 3 times that he's done that. So February 8th, 2025, that was right after we got Luka. Luka hadn't played a game yet. We got him. He didn't play a game yet. Remember, we acquired him on February 1st. Remember, he was still dealing with a little injury. So with AR on the sideline, but this is what he did. And LeBron set out this game. This is what Austin did: 45 points and 7 assists. So that was that was a career high for him, right? He had set a new career high with 45 points, right? And then you fast forward to March 14th, again, a game without LeBron, without Luka in Denver. You remember that game? A big game against Denver for seeding purposes, right? This is March 14th. The Lakers are trying to ascend up the Western Conference standings. Well, you didn't have LeBron, you didn't have Luka. We all thought that would be a loss. No, not so fast, my friend. AR goes into Denver and drops 37 points and 13 assists, right? Absolutely insane. Those were the first 2 without LeBron and without Luka. February 8th, 45.7 assists. March 14th, 37 points, 13 assists. And again, these are against elite teams, right? Indiana, that February 8th performance, Indiana went to the finals. They were the Eastern Conference champs. They went to the finals. They were a really, really good team. They still are. They were last year with Holly and all that stuff. And then March 14th against Jokic. Jokic played in that game, by the way. Murray played in that game, by the way. They were at full strength. Aaron Gordon, MPJ, they all played. Christian Braun, they all played in that March 14th game. Russell Westbrook also, he was on the squad. 37 points, 13 assists. That's what he did. Well, fast forward to 2026 or the 2025-2026 season. He goes into Sacramento, 51 points, 9 assists, 11 rebounds. So you talk about a guy leveling up his game when the Lakers needed the most, when you're without your superstars and Luka, without your superstar on LeBron. Well, AR, check, been there, done that. He continuously does it, right? Scales his game up. And it wasn't just that, he elevated the rest of his team. Again, he was a plus 22 when he was on the court. So that means that he elevated his entire squad. He had 9 assists, which means he was helping his squad score. We saw multiple baskets with him and DeAndre Ayton, that 2-man game that we desperately need to see. if the Lakers are going to be successful, those two guys have to have a two-man game. And we saw that last night. DeAndre was getting easy buckets, man. Easy buckets, easy buckets, easy buckets. And that was because he was the recipient of some dimes, some helpers from Austin Reaves. So, man, shout out to Austin Reaves. You just have to show him love, man. And for everyone questioning, is he the guy for the Lakers moving forward? Is he that guy to pair next to Luka? I think he's putting all those answers to bed, man. He's making a believer out of me. I had some concerns coming in, but when you go out and you do this, when you go out and elevate your game like you have each year, that's exactly what he's done. I mean, you have to take care of that guy. You have to make him a part of your long-term future, right? So we all know that he's entering unrestricted free agency next summer, the summer of 2026. So basically, this is his final year guaranteed under contract, right? He already turned down his extension, his rookie, or not the rookie extension. He already turned down his extension. Well, Austin's going to get paid. The Lakers have decisions to make. Austin has a decision to make. Well, although Austin has already said that he wants to remain in LA, he wants to remain a Laker. He wants to play his career here, right? He's been here his entire, 5 years, 4 years, however many years it's been. He's been here all that time. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He's a beloved fan, right? Lakers Nation love him. He loves LA. LA loves him. They fully embrace him. Well, he wants to remain here. The question is, do the Lakers want to tie themselves up, right? There's major decisions to be made because you're going to have to pay him big money. Right now, he's on the most team-friendly contract in all of sports, not just in the NBA, but in all of sports. He's on a 4-year, $54 million deal. He's only making $13 million a year right now, right? That's the extension he signed. $13 million. Again, the most team-friendly deal in all of sports. Insane. 51 points, and you're paying this man $13 million. And it's not just like, oh, this was a one-off. No, he's averaging, I know it's only 3 games this year, but he's averaging 34 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, 74% true shooting percentage, right? And 45% from 3. Those are his stats this year. Again, it's only 3 games, but nonetheless, 34, 8 and 10, 74% true shooting percentage, 45% from 3. That's what he's doing this year. And 2 of those games are alongside Luka Doncic. So it's not like, oh, he can only ball when Luka's out. No. When Luka's out, he stepped his game up. And that's what you want. What more can you ask for from a young star? That's literally all you can ask for, right? These performances, this is the performance of a star. Like, we're witnessing a star in the making, right? If you didn't know, or if you had questions, well, it's time to put those questions to bed, because that's exactly what this is. This is the performance of a star. He's playing like a top 2 option on a good team, or a number 1 option on a mediocre team, right? And if we're recognizing that now, we're seeing that, Lakers Nation, guess what? The rest of the league is as well, because the rest of the league is definitely watching. They are watching. They are definitely watching, because they all want to see what the Lakers do. Are the Lakers going to pay him, or can we sneak in and scoop him up? Because Austin Reaves will fit on a lot of teams. He's the type that will fit pretty much on all teams, right? What he's going to bring you. He fits all over the place. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all night. He doesn't. He can be a 2. He can be your number 2 guy. He can be your number 3 guy. And then when those guys are out, he can step up and be your number 1 guy. So that being said, again, everyone's watching to see what the Lakers are going to do, because there are teams interested. There really are. And again, when you're putting up performances like this, performances of a star, a budding star, right? Playing like a top 2 option on a good team, or number 1 option on a mediocre team, playing like a legit all-star. These are legit all-star numbers: 34, 8 and 10, 74% true shooting, 45% from 3. These are legit bona fide all-star type numbers. That's exactly what these are. 51 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 12 of 22 from the field, 6 of 2 from 3. Those are star numbers. Star numbers. I'd be darned to say it, but low-key superstar numbers, right? That's the type of numbers he's putting up. So if you take Austin and you put him on a mediocre team, then I think you get even more performances like this. The thing is, it's difficult to put up 51 points when you got a Luka Doncic putting up 49 points. Of course, things are going to run through Luka, but Austin is still holding his own. He's still definitely holding his own. He's still putting up 25, still putting up 26. He's still doing his thing alongside Luka Doncic. Every year, his statistics go up, right? So now, again, it's time to pay that man. You got to pay that man. The question is, what are you going to pay him? And quite honestly, the Lakers have to offer him a max. They're going to have to pay this man a max. I think he's playing his way into a max contract, and I think he will continue to do so all year. I think he's going to have performances like this all year. I think he's going to play this well all year. They have to pay him a max for two reasons, right? For two reasons, or one or two reasons. The first reason is just because he may be that guy that you're going to pair alongside Luka Doncic. He just might be. When you look at these numbers, when you look at the stats, when you look at how they fit, when you look at those two, what they're doing, he just might be that guy. He might be that guy moving forward. That might be the backcourt of the future, right? This is legit. These two guys legit are in the argument of being one of the best backcourts in the entire NBA. And that's even with their flaws defensively. How many backcourts can you name that are better than this duel, right? How many? I'll wait. It's not a lot of them, right? It's not a lot of them. So they are legit top 3 through 5 best backcourt in the entire NBA. But I'm not going to say it. Let's just witness it. Let's just watch it, right? Again, we don't have a huge sample size. We got Luka in February, so you had a handful of, you had a nice run there, right? But let's watch it play out this year, right? So we could say all we want in this mic. I could speak it all I want to, right? But let's just witness it. I think we're going to witness those two being one of the better backcourts in the entire NBA, definitely in the Western Conference, right? So we'll just witness that. So that being said, again, that just may be your backcourt of the future. That's your backcourt moving forward, right? If they are one of the best, if they continue to play this well together, then yeah, that just might be what you're doing there, right? That might be your star next to your superstar in Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is playing like he's the best scorer in the entire world. He's playing like he's legit contending to be the best player in the entire world. And now you got a young budding star in Austin Reaves. There you go. You got a superstar. You got a star. Of course, we know there are concerns there defensively. That's the biggest issue. How does that look defensively? Well, here's the thing. You don't punt on this pairing because you're worried about defense. What you do, Rob Pelinka, Mark Walter, front office, and everybody else, basketball ops, all those, you roll up your sleeves, you get to work, and you find the pieces to put around these two guys. That's how you do that. You don't punt because they're not, they're average defensively. No, you got to find the pieces to put around those guys. You got to do the work, and you got to find the correct pieces to put around those guys. You got to find the correct pieces to build around those. Now, coming in, it was all built around Luka. Yes, that's still the case, but now it may be built around Luka and AR, right? And I'm saying that I think the Lakers were already on that train, right? But as Lakers Nation, as a Lakers fan base, I'm sure there were some of us, me included, I had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm going to be honest, right? There were still some of us that had those major concerns. Is this pairing going to work? Can we move forward with this? Can we invest in this backcourt? Can we invest in these two guys? Is Austin the guy next? But yeah, he's the guy, right? I've seen enough. And again, it's only 3 games, but it goes beyond that because we've seen it a lot last year as well. Right. So again, you have to find the right pieces to build around these guys, right? You just have to. And before we even get into contracts and stuff, the Lakers will have some money to do that. They'll have what? At minimum, around $20 million to spend. That's before you pay Austin anything. Around $20 million to spend to build around these guys. And that's not saying what is LeBron going to do, right? That's the thing. When that money fully comes off, right, and that money is fully available, then that frees up even more cap space. So the Lakers, they can have a lot of cap space. Again, I don't want to get into that yet because there's a lot of variables that will determine that. But they can legit get up to $84 million in available cap space if a lot of these guys leave. But again, that's not what I want to do. And that's the other point that I want to make is you don't want to be a team. Okay, you got Luka. Luka's ready to go. He's showing you that he's ready to win right now. We've seen him carry a team to the finals. We've seen him carry teams to the conference finals. We've seen what he did with us last year. He carried us up to the 3 seed, right? He was that guy who done that. And of course, it wasn't him alone. You had Austin. Of course, you had GOAT James, King James. He was a part of that, right? But you see he's ready to go right now. You've seen his first 2 performances. You've seen him play Euro basketball. You've seen him play over the summer. You've seen that carry over into the season. You've seen him look like one of the best players, if not the best player in the entire world. You've seen him look like the best scorer in the entire world. You've seen his defense improve. You've seen him go in and work on his body during the summer. You're seeing Luka is fully committed. So now you have to be fully committed to Luka. So that being said, you don't want to go into every season, with just Luka and cap space and trying to build, trying to flip the roster and that's not how you win championships in this league. That's just not. When you look at the last handful of teams that have won championships, they had a nucleus, they had a core, right? And that's how you win championships. When you look at the projected contenders for this year, they have a nucleus, they have a core, and that's how you win championships. Yeah, you come and you add a piece or two. You look at OKC, for example, the defending champions and probably the repeat champions. They're probably going to repeat this year, right? Maybe the Lakers can have something to say against that. But when you look at them, they had a core. They went through the mud, right? They came out the mud. They had young players and they had bad days and they built that up. Now the Lakers aren't going to do that. They're not going to be that low, right? We already got Luka. That's the hard part. You already got Luka, your superstar. Now you got to put the pieces around that. Now you already got AR, right? And some other pieces. That's what you want to do. And then you get to a point where you build those guys up where, boom, it's just adding a piece or two. Boom, let's go get Hardenstein. Let's add him to this. Boom, let's go get Alex Caruso. Let's add him to that. And then that's it. Then you're over the top, right? You're already right there. You add those 2 pieces, and now you're a serious contender, not only a contender, but the favorite to win it all. And that's what they were. That's what they did. And they won a title, right? Did they go out and get 2 superstars? No, right? They went out and did they go out and get 2 all-stars? No, they went out and got 2 high valuable role players, right? And they added them into the equation and boom, they're world champions. They dominated, and now they got a dynasty button over there, right? They're probably going to do it again. They're the favorites by far to win it again, to win back-to-back for the first time in a long time, back-to-back in the NBA. That they're them. That's who they are. And as a Lakers fan base or a Lakers organization, we got to have that same approach. We can't go in every year. We don't want, this guy's an expiring contract, let's move him. This guy's an expiring contract. Let's move him. All right, let's get to the summer and then let's redo this thing. No, you want to have some pieces. You want to have pieces already in place where, boom, you can just go out and get this guy, get that guy, and throw them in the mix, and that puts us over the top. The blueprint is already there, right? And for so long, that's been what we've been looking at doing, right? Since in this LeBron era and everything else, that's what we've been trying to do. Flip the whole script. Of course, you had LeBron and AD, but after that, let's flip the script every summer. Let's trade everybody. Let's move this guy, No, you want to have some guys already in place. You want to have that nucleus already in place. You want to have that chemistry already brewing, right? Already cooking, already marinating, right? So then you just add this guy, add that guy, right? And that's where the Lakers are as an organization. We're at a crossroads. That's where we are, right? You got Luka, you got AR, and not only those 2, but you got a couple of other pieces, a couple of other potential pieces that you can add to this or keep to this and move forward with guys like a Rui Hachimura, right? You have a guy there who can score the rock, a guy that plays well next to both Luka and AR. You have that guy. You have a DeAndre Ayton, who looking like he looked last night. He's getting a lot more comfortable, and you're starting to see a legit center in this league, a legit top center in this league. 21 last night with 15 points, 10 of 17 from the field, or sorry, 21 points, 15 rebounds, shooting 10 of 17 from the field, right? You think that doesn't work next to Luka and AR? What? If that's your three, if that's your center next to those two, then yeah, you're definitely a contender, right? And we mentioned Rui. So there are two guys right there that you could have next to these guys. Two guys that's your core. That's four of your starters right there. Then you just got to go out and find that fifth guy. Of course, for now, it's going to be LeBron James. I'm not forgetting about LeBron. I know I'm not talking about him much in this when I'm talking about. That's because, year 23, he's 41 years old. It is what it is, right? That time is. So I'm talking about moving forward, the future. I'm talking about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, because Luka just signed an extension and he's going to sign another one. Once he hits that 10 years of eligibility, he's going to sign another 5-year deal, right? And now moving to the summer, you have an opportunity to lock up Austin for 5 years, right? So again, that's why we're talking. LeBron's not going to be here 4 or 5 years from now, right? We don't know. This could potentially be his final year. So we'll see. We'll see how that all plays into. But I'm talking about that core nucleus moving forward. You could potentially have those 4 guys. That's the position you want to be in. You don't want to have to say, oh, this guy isn't playing well. Oh yeah, let's look into the trade market. Oh, this guy didn't give us what we projected, or what we needed him to be. He wasn't that. So yeah, they don't want to be back in the center market next summer. That's not what we want, Lakers Nation. That's not where we want to be. We want to have our center. We want DeAndre Ayton to work out. We want DeAndre Ayton to fit well next to Luka and AR. We want DeAndre Ayton to hit those career averages that he's been hitting, 17 and 11, or 17 and 12, or whatever. That's what we want. That's what's best for business for this organization. We don't want to have to, oh, well, it was cool. He didn't work out. It was only $8 million. So it was a low risk, high reward. We don't want we want the high reward. We want this thing to actually work out. We want to be paying DeAndre Ayton a new contract next summer. $8 million next year. That's what he's making. We want him to be worth 15, 15 to 20. And I know that's a lot of money, but that means that he fits. That means that he's the guy that fits next to Luka. He's the guy that fit next to AR and LeBron forever along we have. That means he's playing good. That's what we want, Lakers Nation. We don't want to be back searching for another center next summer. We just don't. We want Rui Hachimura to hit. We want him to fit. We want him to continue to play well. We want him to continue to develop. We want him to continue to shoot from the field and 40% from 3. That's what he's been since he's been a Laker. That's what he's been shooting. That's the stuff that we want, right? We want a nucleus. So then we can go out and take that $20 million or whatever else and build around these guys. So again, AR, you want him to play this well. You want him to fit next to Luka, right? You don't want to have the decisions of, oh, do we have to move him, or, oh, he's not worth that much, or, oh, can we lowball him? No, we want him to play like a max guy. That's what's best for the Lakers organization, because then that's one more box check, right? That's one less concern that we have to worry about. Let's just pay the man. We know they fit. We know they work. And now let's build around them. That's what we want. So that being said, again, the Lakers are going to have to pony up the money. They're going to have to be all in and pay this man the max. Again, I believe that he's going to continue to play this well all year long. And I believe that he's going to continue to show that he fits next to Luka all year long. And if they don't look how you expect them to look defensively, that's not on them. It's on the organization to find the pieces to put around them, right? You look at across the league, other people have flaws. Other backcourts have flaws, but guess what? Their front offices go out and they get the correct pieces to cover up those flaws, right? You're not going to have a perfect ball player. These guys aren't two-way stars. That's not who we're going to be. We're going to be an elite offensive team, and we want to be as best above average defensively as we can be, right? Now, you go out and get the correct pieces, the correct defenders to put around these two, then, yeah, you shoot up even higher defensively, right? So, yeah, that's on the front office. But again, you're going to have to pay AR, right? What does that look like? What does the AR max look like? We're talking about what 42 somewhere. Again, these are rough estimates because the cap's going to go up and all that stuff. But we're talking about $42.5 million a year. That's what a max contract looks like, right? And keep in mind, the Lakers are the only team that can offer AR that 5 years, right? 5 years. So we're talking about 5 years, around $240 million a year. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So there's a lot of money invested. We're going from a $54 million contract and $13 million a year up to a $240 million contract and $42 million a year. That is a lot of money. But again, that's what guys like Austin Reaves, that's what they're worth. That's what they're going to make. And that's what you're going to have to pay to keep him. Because if you don't, again, everybody's watching. If you aren't fully invested or committed to him, there are other teams that will step in, right? Who are some of those other teams? Well, there are teams with cap space, projected cap space. There are teams, some of those bad teams or mediocre teams who can use an Austin Reaves, who will go all in to get an Austin Reaves because they see the what he can do or the type of numbers he can put up, on a team by himself where he can be a one. Right now, how does he look as a one? I long term, I mean, I don't know. That's something we haven't seen, but there are teams, some bad teams or some mediocre teams who are willing to take that chance. Some teams with cap space. All these teams that I'm going to mention here are all teams that I think would go all in and pay Austin Reaves, a max contract, right? We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets. They're projected to have significant cap space, right? They can definitely use an Austin Reaves, right? Austin Reaves can definitely be the number one guy over there. And they have some pieces already in place that they can surround them with. And then they'll still have more money to go out and get other pieces. So Portland Trailblazers, they're another team right now. They have a lot of talent already there. A lot of young talent already there. So some of that young talent, they're going to have to commit to. They're going to have to pay. We already seen them do that, and they just paid Shaden Sharp. They just paid Tamani Kamara. So they just paid some of those guys. Some of those other guys are going to have to continue to pay. But Austin Reaves, I think they'll take a chance on Austin there. I think he would fit really good into what they're building there, those young pieces that they have there. Another team with significant cap space, the Charlotte Hornets. They're a team that need all the talent they can get. They got some talent there, but they're a team that could use an Austin Reaves, right? They're a team that can go after an Austin Reaves, right? They're a team with significant cap space. The Chicago Bulls, another team with significant cap space projected next summer, right? All these projections, because again, we don't know what these teams are going to do. They could all trade guys at the deadline, although they should all be more so sellers than they are buyers. They should be sending out guys, right? And stacking up picks or what have you, or stacking up younger players as opposed to, taking on long-term salary, right? So again, but Chicago, they're a team. They're a fringe playoff team, play-in team, if you will. They made the play-in last year, right? They're trying to build upon that. They have young guys there that Austin would play very well next to. So they're a team. Detroit, that's another team. Now, Detroit is a playoff team. They were a playoff team last year. I think they're a playoff team again this year. And I think that if they went all in, they can probably contend this year to come out the Eastern Conference, a down Eastern Conference year because, of the injuries there, the injury in Halliburton. So Indiana, I don't know how they're going to look, right? And then Boston without Tatum, I don't know how they're going to look, although both of those superstars said that they may look to try to come back next year. We'll see how that plays out. But the East is wide open. Of course, my favorite out of the East is New York. If they can stay healthy, if they don't have any injuries to their big guys, then I think they finally do it. They finally come out of the East. But a team like Detroit, I think they're right there. I think they're right there. I think, again, it's New York. That's my pick. But then you have Cleveland. And then after those two, I think Detroit is right there. Surprisingly, I think they're third or fourth in line to come out of the Eastern Conference. So you never know. You get into a series, they have a budding superstar in Cade Cunningham there, right? He goes off. And then they have the other pieces. They got Ivy back, right? Or they're getting Ivy back. You've got Jalen Duren there, right? And we mentioned those two because that's where their money could be tied up, right? We know Cunningham, he already got paid. You're going to have to continue to pay him. I think you make him your franchise guy. You pay him super maxes and all that. Well, Ivy and Duren, those are the other two. Those are two guys who are going to be unrestricted free agents. They didn't get any deals done. And I think from everything I saw, they're not going to get any deals done with those two. So those two guys are going to enter restricted free agency next summer. However, I don't see either of those guys leaving unless someone ponies up, some nice pieces to go after one of those guys. Although Jalen Duren, he's a guy I would love to see in a Lakers uniform, right? I'm very high on what we have here in DeAndre Ayton, but if you can get a Jalen Duren, man, go get Jalen Duren. That's another topic of conversation for another day. We'll see how that all plays out. The thing is, again, they're restricted free agents. So with that, you know how that goes, right? Whatever someone else offers, Detroit can come in and match it, right? And they will. They're not just going to let those guys leave for nothing. But again, if things don't work out there, if again, I'm high on Detroit, potentially being a contender coming out of the East. I'm very high on Detroit, but if that's not the case, if basketball doesn't agree, what we see on the court, doesn't agree, then maybe at the deadline they could try to look to move a Jalen Duren, right? And the Lakers could be in position. But we'll see. I think it'll be a lot of suitors. Again, we have plenty of time to see that. So I'm not going to speculate too much on there. But I mentioned those two guys because I mentioned that team and those two guys specifically because that team is expected to have significant cap space, and how much of that cap space goes into those two players, right? So they're a very unique team, interesting team. Utah, they're another team that's going to have significant cap space. We know they have Walker Kessler there. Everything I'm saying about Jalen Duren, just copy and paste that to Utah because I would do the same thing for Walker Kessler. So they're in the same situation, though. They didn't extend Walker after all this time. It's been a mess, and they didn't extend him. So he's going to enter into restricted free agency as well. So that being said, he may be a guy that they look to move at the deadline, and the Lakers might be the team that they may finally do business with. We'll see. We'll see how that all plays out. But Utah is another team with projected to have significant projected cap space, right? And that's I could definitely see Austin in Salt Lake City, right? Now, he doesn't want to be there. Of course, he doesn't want to, but they're a team. And then they also have Larry Markkinen there. That's another guy that they could potentially move, right? And I was about to say something, but I'm going to save that for my next point. But Utah is definitely a team. Washington, that's another team. They're going to have big cap space. They need a superstar or star there. They don't have anyone. They have young guys and Alex Sarr and all that, but they need a star there, right? So you can see them going after an Austin Reaves. The Clippers, they're only projected to have one guy under contract next summer, right? So that opens up a ton of cap space. Now they can re-up on those guys, and then we know the situation with Kawhi and all that. Do they finally try to move up off of that? There's a lot, but they're a team that could have significant cap space as well. So all of those teams, and you can see them trying to stick one to the Lakers to get Austin Reaves, and maybe it's something Austin would consider. He's been in LA his entire professional career. He loves LA. He's going to be making big money in LA, right? He has endorsements already in LA. That's going to continue to go up. So maybe, that's something that he would consider. At least with that, he gets to stay in LA. Here's the thing, though. Again, the Lakers are the only team that can offer that fifth year. So they can go above and beyond anyone else to keep the man here. He wants to be here. They can offer him the most money to be here. That's why they're just going to have to do it. They're going to have to do it. And I think he's worth it. He continues to play the way he's playing, then he's definitely worth all that. So yeah, again, you may just do it because he's your guy. He's your next star. He's that's your duo, him and Luka. And you find the pieces to build to put around them, right? It could be Rui, it could be Ayton, or not. You may do something else, but it could be them. That four could be your core, and then you find the pieces, the rest of the pieces to put around them. You find a defender to throw into that starting lineup with those guys, right? You find shooters to put around those guys. You find bench players to put around those guys. So that's option A. right? That's option A, and I think that's more where we're leaning to. The other option is we know the Lakers always go big fish hunting, right? We know they're always after the next superstar. They just fall in our laps, right? From Kobe to LeBron, then AD, and now you flip that to Luka. That's just what the Lakers do. So they're looking for that next superstar. Well, guess what? You're not going to get that guy if you don't have high valuable players, stars to move. It's rare in this new CBA. It's very rare that you're going to sign superstars via free agency, right? I just don't see that the way this stuff is structured. It's going to be via trade and in order for the Lakers to be in the mix to trade for a superstar, you got to have other stars. You got to have assets, legit assets. And I'm sorry, as much as we want to think so, you're not going to trade for a superstar with Rui, with Dalton Connect, and with Maxi Kleber, and with Gabe Vincent. No, they don't want that. But you know what teams do want? And Austin Reaves, who can drop 52 points or 51 points as the number one option. And Austin Reaves that can average 34, 8 and 10, shooting 74%, true shooting from the field, and 45% from three as a two or as a three, whatever. That teams do want that. So again, if you want to put yourself in position to get a Giannis Antetokounmpo the year after next, right, who may be available, then guess what? If you got Austin locked in a max contract, if you're paying him $40 million, then hey, that makes something like that a lot easier to do. Now, of course, we will want Giannis on top of Austin, in spite of Austin, or with Austin, right? That's what we will, but I just don't see that. I don't see things working out that way. But yeah, the other option, yeah, if you're able to acquire a superstar like that, then you're going to need a guy like Austin on max money. Now, again, I believe that you'll be the guy moving forward alongside Luka, but someone else may become available in summer 2027 when those guys have opt-outs. Giannis, and the other big name is Jokic, right? And the Lakers put themselves in very good position where they can strike a deal, for one of those two superstars, right? If they move. Now, Giannis, I do believe, he'll move, but time will tell. Jokic, I don't know so much. But again, if the Lakers want to be in a position to go out and strike a guy like that, to go out and trade for a guy like that, then, having Austin tied up in a max contract makes that trade a lot easier to facilitate. Because right now they don't have, it's too hard to do. It's too hard to get up to those numbers that these guys make. These guys make $50-60 million. It's too hard for the Lakers to get up. They have to give up the entire roster just to stack up the contracts to get to that number. And with the new CBA, and then with those type of trades are very difficult to facilitate during the season because teams are sending out one player and they're receiving 4, 5, 6 players. That's impossible to do because there's restrictions. You can only have so many guys on your roster. So, cutting guys during the season, and it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Now, during the offseason, those type of deals are easier to do. But again, for the Lakers, it's a lot easier if you have $41 million in one player that you can move to do that, right? And I think the Lakers have said it. They've been adamant about it, right? And we've been so back and forth about it, but now I'm on the side of no, we don't trade Austin unless it's for a superstar. The way he's playing, no. We can't trade Austin for a bench player. We can't trade Austin for just another role player. I think he's above that. I'm seeing the light. Some of you may have already been seeing that light, been on that bus, but I'm coming around to it now. So that being said, one, he's just that good. Right, he's too good to just trade him for a role player or trade him for a bench player. He's just that. But then two, again, he's a guy that you if a superstar becomes available, he's a guy that team is going to want. If a Giannis, I'm just throwing these two names out there because those are the next two rumored superstars because they have opt-outs, their first opt-outs in the contract, Giannis and Jokic. If a guy like that becomes available, big if, but if they become available, then yeah, Austin is going to be a guy that you would move to get a guy like that. Now, for guys like that, yeah, no hesitation, zero hesitation. But for Wendell Carter Jr. or for whoever, you know, the guys that we've been saying all summer, I don't know. I don't know if you do that. I don't know if you do that. And then for not even for a guy like, but for like a Walker Kessler or something like that, I don't know. I think now you have to take a hard look. A few months ago, I was saying, yeah, do that, do it. You know, give me Zach LaVine, just do it, right? For Austin, do it. But now I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. Austin outplayed LaVine and Debo last night. He outplayed both of those guys, right? DeRozan and LaVine. So they combined, those two combined for 53 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists. That's what they combined for. We're talking about Debo and LaVine. That's what they combined for last night. Austin outscored them or outplayed them 51 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. Insane, man. Insane work. So now, again, I don't know if you just move Austin for anyone. I just don't know. It has to be a start. At first, I thought, man, the Lakers are ludicrous what they're thinking. But I think that's the one thing they got right because they had plenty of opportunity to do it. There's DeJounte Murray. Imagine, hey, have they done that? Is he even playing this year? Is he still hurt? So imagine had the Lakers done that, right? Or so many other names he's been linked to. Jeremy Grant, right? Jeremy Grant is having a hell of a season, a bounce back season. We'll see him tonight, which we'll talk about in a second. But you know, is he having an Austin Reaves type impact? I don't know. I don't think so, right? I mean, and he's a little older, right? And then that's the thing too with Austin. They fit timelines. He fits Luka's timeline. So again, you can have these guys as your backcourt of the future. You can have these guys for the next 8 years. They can be that guy. They can be that duel, right? So again, there's a lot that's going to go into this. Then you got new ownership coming in. You got Mark Walter coming in, new ownership, which by the way, that deal could be done this week. We could have a new owner this week, Lakers Nation. That stuff could be done this week. All that is going on right now. That due process could be finally done, and that sale could be finalized, approved and finalized. Escrow closed, everything done this week. Crazy. But how does Mark feel about Austin? How does he feel about it? And when I say Mark, I'm talking about him, and obviously he's a decision maker, but everybody else who makes decisions, everybody else who he'll have in place and all that. How do they all feel about that? How do they all feel about Austin, right? So there's a lot. It's a big investment, but I'm going to trust that the Lakers will make the correct decision, and I believe that the correct decision will be to pay the man the max. You know, whether it's if you're keeping him or whether you're just locking him down so you can move him for another superstar down the road. Whatever the case may be, I think it's just something that you have to do. I think it's a no-brainer. We already talked about all the teams that have available cap space that would definitely go after him if you try to lowball him or if you don't get. But again, the main thing here is the most any other team could offer him is 177, right? 177. That's the most that they can offer him. 4 years, $177 million. Whereas with the Lakers, they can offer that 5th year. They can offer 25% of their cap. So that plays out to be, you know, more closer to the $240 million. So there's that. And then Austin may take a discount. Again, I wouldn't if I'm him. You know, why am I taking a discount? I'm playing the way I'm playing. You know, it's not really going to save you a lot of cap space because, you know, he's under the Lakers' control. So it's not going to save you a bunch of cap space to go out and get a guy. But we'll see. We'll see how that all plays. But I'm in camp, pay Austin the max for all the reasons that we discussed, right? Going back to last night before we look ahead, it wasn't just Austin. Austin led the way. Austin elevated everybody. Austin was the guy. He carried everybody. He carried this team to a victory, put him on his back, all of that. But again, Rui Hachimura played 40 minutes last night. He gave you 18 points. He only attempted 1 3. So I want to see more from Rui. He got going early. He had 10 points in the first quarter. So like, okay, This is what we need. We said we need everybody to step up. Austin stepping up. Rui stepping up. This is what we need. We're going to need another 25 or 30-point performance from Rui. No, he finished with 18, 10 in the first quarter. He only had 8 throughout the next 3 quarters, the final 3 periods. We need more from him. We need more from him. We need that fast start, and we need that to continue throughout the night. But again, he gave you 40 minutes. He was battling on the defensive side of the ball, so you love to see that. But I think we need more scoring from him. He's going to have to step his game up more over this next week. Until we get Luka back. And not just that, when we do get Luka back, we need him to continue that play. He had 23 on Friday. I think that's where we need Rui. And you say, oh, that's only a few more points, but that's major. That's big paired with, Luka and all that. He did that on Friday. That was with Luka scoring 49. That was with Austin still scoring 25, so plus his 23. Now you remove Luka for this week. We're going to need more from Rui. So I want to see more from Rui. Step it up some more. Marcus Smart gave us 31 minutes last night. 31 minutes. I know he had the issue. He cramped up or whatever, had to run out, and he jumped on the bike there in the tunnel, but he did finish the game. So 31 minutes, though, and that was a big question. How many minutes can Marcus Smart play? All of us clamoring for him to be in the starting lineup. Well, he was, and you saw what happened. So can he sustain playing that many minutes? Because we're gonna need that from him, right? He's on the other side of 30, the bad side of 30, if you will, for an NBA athlete. So let's see. But he gave you 11 points, 5 assists. He was crucial. He was crucial in that win, and he made some plays. Jake LaRavia, he gave you 33 minutes off the bench. He scored 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. So he had a decent game. You're going to need those type of performances from him while Luka's out. But even when Luka returns, you're going to still need stats like that from him off the bench. You don't have a lot of guys on that bench, so you need him. And I would like to see him score even a little bit more. Right. Vando gave you 27 minutes, 9 points, 5 rebounds, but he made some big plays, right? Again, he was the backup last night, the backup center, because, again, they were without Jackson Hayes for the second straight game. Maybe you get Jax back tonight, but he was your backup center. But he also played with Aiden. He closed the game, so he played with Aiden down the stretch. So that was good to see that those two can play together. Just stop shooting the threes. He's not making them. It's just a waste of a shot, waste of a possession. Just stop, man. Even if you're wide, just stop. Figure something else out. He's still struggling on that side of the ball, but 9 points. He gave you that, 5 rebounds. Gabe Vincent, unfortunately, he got injured, so we're already hit with injuries. We already don't have any depth, but then to have it at that point guard position, at that playmaker position, because that's exactly what Gabe was. He's a secondary playmaker, but that he moved up higher in the pecking order there, because after Austin, he was the playmaker. He gets hurt, messes that ankle up, and he left the arena in a walking boot. So that is terrible news when you see a guy leaving in a walking boot. For sure, I think he's out tonight. I haven't even seen the injury report for tonight, but he's out for tonight, but he might be out longer term than that. And you're already without Luka for at least a week. Now, Gabe, that is tough right there, man. Very, very tough. Tough sledding, right? But again, it was a team victory. They got the victory, 127-120, back-to-back W's, baby. Again, we thought that they probably would drop. You get the Luka news, you go into Sacramento. They came out with the victory. So by hook or by crook, any means necessary, get it done. And they were able to get it done. But there's no rest for the weary. It's Lakers game day, Lakers Nation. So we have another one tonight. It's the second night of a back-to-back. It looks like the entire league is playing these back-to-back early. I guess they're trying to sneak one in or sneak a couple in early on, because the Lakers also have a back-to-back next weekend, right? So the queries of this scheduling, the NBA scheduling, is rough, it's tough. But we got the Portland Trail Blazers. We know they're dealing with a lot of issues. Their coach was arrested a couple of days ago. He's facing federal charges, right, with that whole poker stuff and the betting and all that stuff. So they're a team in disarray, right? But they're a young team. They have a lot of good players, a lot of young, good talent. And I like this Portland team a lot. You know, some of their stars, we talked about Jeremy Grant a little bit earlier. He's a guy, he's having a very good season so far in this young season. He's playing very well, and he's, you know, being one of their top scorers. So you got Jeremy Grant. But my favorite player on this team is Denny Avdija, right? That guy is a monster. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but that guy is a monster, right? He Turbo. That's what we'll call him. That's his nickname. I love his game a lot, man. I like watching him play. He's been really good to me on my prize picks and everything else as well. But Denny Avdija, he's good, man. Turbo. So I'm excited to see him play tonight. He's going to be a handful for the Lakers tonight. Grant's going to be a handful for the Lakers tonight as well. We know there's that built-in chip on his shoulder, if you will, because he wanted the Lakers. I think people say, I don't know if he wanted to be a Laker or not, because he mentioned not wanting to be the second or third option or whatever during that time. But I think that he wanted the Lakers come save him, to come get him. But the Lakers didn't. They didn't want to give up an Austin Reaves, or they didn't want to give up a first-round pick, or so on and so forth. That's another thing, too. You talk about Austin, you know, being a catalyst in a potential trade for another superstar. That's something that the Lakers will also have. They'll have first-round picks available starting next year and then into 2027 when some of those guys that we mentioned, or some of those superstars that we mentioned, are available. So, yeah, just something else to keep an eye out on, right? The Lakers being in position to strike, you know, while the iron is hot. But, again, Jeremy Grant, Danny Avdija, Donovan Clingan, he's another young guy that's really, really good. I know I'm butchering Danny's name, Turbo. But Donovan Clingan, he's another guy, he can stretch the floor. He's muscle and grit, and plays hard and grabs boards and blocks shots. So that's going to be interesting to watch tonight. Especially Ayton paired up with him. That's going to be fun. Shaedon Sharpe, he just got paid. He got his rookie extension. So he's really good. He's off to a good start. He's going to be tough tonight. Tamani Kamara, that's another one. Him D'ing up Austin, that's going to be interesting to see. So they have a lot of bodies to throw at an Austin Reaves. And they have a lot of bodies who can play both sides of the basketball. So this is going to be a fun matchup. They're coming off the back-to-back as well. They've been in LA for the weekend, right? They played the Clippers last night. They lost to the Clippers last night. They're 1-2, but they played all good teams. They played all playoff teams. They opened up against Minnesota. They lost. That was their season opener last week. And then they beat Golden State last week, but I think it was the second night of the back-to-back for Golden State. But nevertheless, they beat Golden State, and then they lost to the Clippers last night. So they come in 1-2. The game is at crypto.com arena. So they're going to come in and be riled up, right? So it's going to be a fun matchup, a very, very fun matchup with Portland Trailblazers tonight. They're going to try to look to improve their record to 500 to 2-2, whereas the Lakers are going to try to look to improve their record to 3-1 and make it 3 straight wins and the second straight without Luka Doncic. Yes, of course, Luka is out tonight. So we have to deal with that. And it is what it is. DeAndre Ayton facing his former team, of course. Portland is the team that he was with. The last team he was with, he had up and downs there. Last year, though, when he played pretty well, right? They were tanking, so they were arresting guys a lot last year and all that. But he played well. But again, it's against his former team, so he should be motivated tonight. And let's see how that looks. He played a lot of minutes last night, so it's a back-to-back for both of us. So we'll see how that plays into things. But yeah, fun matchup tonight, man. Fun matchup tonight. And coming in, again, I said how important it was for the Lakers to get off to a fast start, a good start over those first 20 games. I wanted to see them go 15-5 at minimum, win 15 of those first 20. Well, you know, they dropped the first one. So then that 15-5 became 16-4. That's what they needed to do. Well, they won the game 2. So then that shrunk down a little bit. But now with Luka injury, can we temper that a little bit or temper those expectations a little bit? Instead of 15-5, can they go 12-8? Can they have a 3-game cushion in there? Now, when Luka first went down, I was struggling in. Can they go 500 while he's out? But now, after seeing last night, not just AR, I already knew AR would up his game, but everybody else, DeAndre Ayton get more comfortable. You got Rui there. If he can continue to elevate his game while they're out, and everybody else, if Laravia can get Smart can give us those type of minutes and that type of production, if Vandal can cause some chaos for 27 minutes, right? Although I would like to see him play a little bit less, but he had to play a lot because he was a center. Jackson Hayes didn't play, and maybe we get Jackson Hayes back tonight as well, so that will add some more sustainability to this roster. So maybe we get him back, but instead of 15-5, can they go 12-8 now without Luka? With Luka being out for however long he's going to be out, can they go 12-8? If that's the case, 12-8, there's 17 games left, so they need to go 12-5 over that period. I think if they could get out of that, if they can do that in the first 20, 12-8, and that's with a week without Luka, then I think that's a W, man. I think that's a win. They can't fall too low below that, because you start dropping games. You get to March, you get to April, and you say, man, if only we could have beat Portland that game. If only we could have beat this team in that game, Memphis, or whoever the case may be, the Kings, whoever that team may be. If only those if onlys catch up to you. We saw it last year. Like, man, so many games we dropped that we should have won, whether it was resting guys or whether just guys just having bad nights. Well, you don't want that this year, because the West, as tough as it was last year, it's going to be even tougher this year. When you have teams like San Antonio, they're going to be a good team now. They're going to compete. When you have a team like Memphis, they'll probably compete again. I don't know. They're off to a rough start. But then when you have a team like Portland, they got a good squad, a good young squad, and so many other teams, Utah. If they decide to play, which it looks like they are, I don't think they're going to tank. They did all that tanking, and look where it got them last year. So I think that should be done. They should be done with that. These teams are going to compete. They're going to compete, and you just never know, man. You just never know. And the Lakers don't want to find themselves down there knowing. They don't. They don't want to find themselves down there in the play-in and having to beat a Portland team. Or you're kicked to one game deciding everything. They just don't want to be there. So that being said, to claim one of those top 6 seeds, you got to take care of business. So you can't, even without. I know it's rough to say. How is it possible? Or how can you say that without Luke, without LeBron? Well, they're going to have to figure it out, man. They're going to have to figure out to get W's, and they've shown that they can. They showed it last night. So they need to show it again. Again, it's tough because it's the back-to-back tonight, but that's not really an excuse, because Portland, they're playing in a back-to-back as well. There wasn't a lot of travel involved. You were just in Sacramento, so you get back, and here I am, like I'm a professional athlete, saying it's that easy. But you know what I mean. You feel what I'm saying. Let's go steal a game tonight, man, and let's get to 12-8 over those first 20. Which again means they need to go 12-5 over the next 17 after being 2-1, in the first 3. So let's see if they can get that done, man. And when you look ahead at the rest of the schedule, Portland tonight, then they hit the road. They're in Minnesota on Wednesday. That's going to be a tough one because you just beat Minnesota. They're going to be looking to get some get back. And he only played 1 quarter last night, and he went out dealing with I think hamstring tightness or whatever, but he'll be fine. He's definitely going to play on that Wednesday game. He'll probably sit out the rest. I don't know what the schedule is, but he'll probably sit out the rest of the games until that game. But you got Minnesota on Wednesday. Then you go into Memphis on Friday. So it's a 2-game road trip at Minnesota, then at Memphis on next Friday, or this coming Friday. And that's a big game because it's the NBA Cup game, right? So it's a group stage NBA Cup matchup, the first. So that's one that the Lakers want to go in there and get. So you got Memphis, and then you come back west next weekend for a back-to-back, another back-to-back. Miami on Sunday, which is a game you just have to win, right? And then Portland again. So at Portland next Monday. right? So hopefully by then we'll have some news on Luka. Not news, hopefully he'll be returning to the lineup right after that. Because after those two, you got the San Antonio Spurs, and then you hit the road, first game being in Atlanta. So hopefully we get Luka back, for one of those back-to-backs, maybe the Portland game. Maybe you get him back there, which is the second night of back-to-back next week. Or maybe you get him back for that San Antonio game, and then he's ready to hit the road with the Lakers and, return during that road trip. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see. Maybe you get Jackson Hayes back tonight. He's missed the last two. So let's see if we can get him back tonight. And then Gabe Vincent, very, very, very unfortunate injury there. He left the arena in a walking boot. So, yeah, I don't think he'll be available tonight. But it is game day. So let's see how the Lakers, let's see how they rebound, right? Let's see, or not rebound. Let's see what they do. Let's see how they look after a big, big win on last night. It was big, not because of the opponent, but it was big because, one, what Austin did, it was an historic night. But then, two, it was big because you did it without Luka, right? The first game without Luka, 1-0. So, yeah, that's a good start. But enjoy Lakers basketball tonight. Let's get this W against Portland. And again, shout out to Austin Reaves, man. 51 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, 12 of 22 from the field, 6 of 10 from three, a career high, 21 made free throws of 22 attempts. And how about the Lakers? 41 of 46 from free throws last night. Now, game one, they missed 11. Game two, they cleaned all that up. And then game three, 41 of 46. Now, that's crazy. They had a crazy whistle. It is what it is. I'm not going to deny that or hide that. They did have a crazy whistle, but that's how Sacramento got back into the game, because the refs, they just swallowed their whistles toward the end of that game. They said, okay, we called a nut. I guess we reached our max. They're maxed out on whistles. So we're not going to call anymore. And that's how Sacramento got into the game. I don't like seeing 46 free throws from any team, even if it is the Lakers. But if it's going to be any team, then I'll take it, especially a team without Luka, without LeBron. Hey, it is what it is. But yeah, AR had himself a Shea Alexander Gildress night at the free throw line, or a Jimmy Butler whistle last night. The Jimmy Butler night at the free throw line is what it is. But he did that thing. He also had 2 steals, only 2 turnovers. That's what was big to me. Only 9 assists with only 2 turnovers, and he was the primary ball handler. He was on the floor for 39 minutes, plus 22 when on the court, minus 15. His 15 minutes when he was off the court was bad, right? Bad. When he was off the court, the Lakers got outscored by 15 points, right? So, yeah, there's that. But, man, shout out to Austin. Shout out to the Lakers. And let's do it again tonight. Let's do it again tonight, baby. Let's do that thing, right? But enjoy the game tonight. Let's get this W tonight. Game 3 tonight of the World Series. That series is tied 1-1. The Lakers. The Dodgers bounced back in game 2. They got it done behind a historical performance by Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Win a complete game in the World Series, and now they hand the ball over to, or the mound over to Tyler Glass now for game 3. So let's see if they can get that done again. It's in LA. So LA's gonna be lit tonight, man. You got the World Series, you got Lakers basketball. It's gonna be litty in the city. So let's get double victories there, right? Go Dodgers, go Lakers. And yeah, man, thanks for tapping in. Again, this has been your Monday edition, October 27th edition of the Lowdown Daily Pod. We're here as much as we can. We try to be here every day, but every day when there's Lakers news, we'll definitely be here all season long. We're back here on the YouTube platform. So tap in with your boy. I'm your host, LOE. And yeah, purple and gold till we die. Purple and gold we ride. I believe purple. My heart beats gold. It is and always will be. Lakers over everything. Enjoy the game tonight. Go Dodgers. Go Lakers. Go off again, Austin. Peace.
And his teammates, they mob him right now. What an effort. What an effort by AR tonight.
Yeah, he gets a lot of credit, but you got to credit this whole team.
Oh, of course.
I mean, this is